so we get all of our friends on Facebook. We're going to bring our friends on Facebook. It's halftime. It's Hawaii football. It's Nevada. It's our big rivals. It's Timmy Chang on the other sideline. And it's the Rainbow Warriors who are up 10-7. What a half. We knew this was going to be a tough game. We knew it was going to be a close game. We knew it was going to be a game that would require our defense to step it up, and they really are. Our defense is really showing up. I just love the way they're playing. 10-7 is, I think, really good. A great halftime score. I take it as an A for me. I'm going to bring in some friends. We got some friends in Nebraska already staying up through the night. Jimmy got his boy there as well tonight. Tell me, he got to give us his halftime assessment, because I know his boy Chevy has been playing out for us pretty well tonight, huh?
Yeah, Chevy's done all right. I tell you what, it was a fast half, though.
Chevy's good.
Yeah.
He thinks, always talks about Chevy, but no, first half it went quick and big score before half.
Yes, huge score.
Well, converting that third long was big, because it was about third and 18 there. And
yeah.
Chevy was able to pick up a first down with his legs and able to keep the drive alive. So obviously big points for half, but I thought there might be more points scored in the first half.
I'm shocked that Nevada, they're a big play team, and we've been able to hold them down to, limit their big plays, and they've even given up some big plays to us. So we've hit them in the mouth. I'm happy where we are.
Even the first drive of the game, though, they chewed about 7.5 minutes of clock, just kind of set the tone for the half.
Yes, they ate the clock up a lot. That's why I thought, and I'm down for that. I'd rather Nevada eat the clock. I'd rather them keep it a low scoring and a tight game. But for you, anything surprising you're seeing on offense, or anything from last week? Do you think that's changed this week?
I think it's a similar first half, as same as last week in regards to just how it was played. Just kind of a fast half. Neither team necessarily had many possessions, but the fact that we're on the good side of things right now, going to halftime is a good sign for the second half. But a lot of football left, and obviously both teams will make adjustments here, but it's going to be on the good side of the scoreboard for a change.
Well, Chevin, 14 of 15. He only missed one pass, one incomplete pass. 14 of 15, 141 yards. You saw that touchdown to Calvin Turner at the end. But Chevin, again, the leading rusher on our team too. I mean, that's not something. And you heard Rich Miano. I'll shout out Rich Miano, since he shouted me out. I'll have to shout him back out as well for shouting my cardboard person out. So mahalo, Rich Miano, for shouting me if you shout. But, you also, Rich Miano's making some very cogent points when it comes to just the strategy and what is necessary to beat this Nevada team and how good they are. He talked about, Timmy Chang and his influence on that team. And you saw their tight end. That's the irony, right? Timmy is their tight ends coach. We didn't even have a tight end at UH.
No tight ends back in the day.
Yeah, but you drew up a nice play. I mean, that 6'6" tight end right there. We saw that, and Dobbs is that guy we're talking about. Romeo Dobbs, this whole game, quiet. What do you think is the biggest thing right there, Jimmy? That is keeping UH there in the game there with Romeo.
Well, I just say the defense has played up to par here.
Yeah.
Throughout the first half, they made some plays, and they put Nevada in some positions and some third down situations where things have they're not comfortable with. And more importantly, it's right now is the defense only hold them to 7 points, because this is an offense that can score points.
Yeah. I mean, Romeo Dobbs has been on the field, right? He has 0 receptions this game.
No catches in the first half.
0 catches. I mean, he's been clearly double and tripled, and they have that's Marquise Stovall's brother is on the team too, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so their Stovall has 2 catches for 7 yards, and our Stovall has 1 catch for 5 yards. So right now, Marquise is, I think it's Melquise, I think is the brother. But a lot of big guys on that Nevada line too. I mean, they're almost Jimmy Motz size out there. Some of those guys, man.
Big, but I'll say this though. I mean, the defense has flown around and made some plays.
Yep.
And kind of kept their offense off kilter here in the first half. Not to say that they won't come out and make adjustments like we said the second half.
Of course.
It's going to be interesting. I think the one thing is though, I mean, the difference right now has been Chevy in terms of his ability to make plays in the pocket. Not only that, but he scramble and make some plays, pick up first downs, keep drives alive. And obviously, I mean, to me, he's been the biggest difference in the first half. So you can't rely on him making plays the entire second half.
Yeah.
But good to see some other guys get involved. Pinoki get involved in the first half. Even Rico Bussey side in the first half too was kind of a change. His name's kind of went unnoticed here the last couple of weeks. But like I said, but Calvin Turner though is such an X factor for this offense in terms of his ability to what he can do. And he's gonna have to be big in the second half, I think, in order to win this game.
Oh, we're not even okay. For some reason, our thing didn't start and then it stopped again or something. So let's do that again on Facebook. But yeah, we're going. We still we'll go back on to Facebook. We're gonna be on YouTube pretty soon too. But Jimmy, when we look at this score, 10-7, it's kind of like yesteryear we would expect like some high scoring games, and you talked about you expected our offense as well probably to show up. But Nevada, on the other hand, has been putting up huge numbers with the fourth passing attack in the entire nation. And our defense has been holding them. Romeo Dobbs, 0 catches. Do you think our defense can keep this up in the second half is the biggest question.
I hope so. I hope we're still in the mode where we're bending but we're not breaking.
Yeah.
In terms of making plays. To me, I guess I'm shocked at the fact that the first half, it went fast. I mean, the clock flew. Both teams kind of milked possessions. Mm-hmm. I was expecting more of a high-scoring first half, but it's a good sign, though, going into the second half, at least with the lead, and can we just make enough plays offensively to keep drives alive, work the clock, and maybe get some points? Can the defense make enough plays in the second half to keep their offense kind of off kilter a little bit to where we can hold on here? Because it's got the same vibe as last week.
Yes.
For the boys game, very similar first half. That was played, but then obviously the second half there were a ton of points scored.
Yeah.
In that game, so.
Well, that's a huge thing, right? Our second, now is the biggest thing. We've been getting blown out in the first half, and that's been the MO the whole season is not getting out on time.
And this is the first time in quite some. I mean, I think since the opener where we've played with the lead going into halftime.
Yes.
So how can this crew play the lead here in the second half?
We've been down at halftime 4 out of the 5 games that we started. Right. So that's a great thing to bring up is, playing with the lead. We scored 29 points last week in the second half. Everything kind of changes for us, it seems like, in the second half, and we're gonna keep that good juju going. But looking at some of the studs for our team so far, we talked about Chevin and the game that he's having so far. Only 1 miss. I don't remember, what was it, incompletion? Was it a throwaway? He threw the ball away?
It was a deep ball that he.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That was his only incompletion.
Yeah, that was it. I didn't see anybody even open on that play, actually.
No. Otherwise, though, he's been spot on here in the first half.
Yeah, this has just been the Chevin. But you talked about the scrambling ability, the ability when the play is broken for him to just eat up those chunks, and he did on that 3rd and 18. That was a huge play. When we look at Chevin, though, and we look at how people are, have been questioning, the system and whether he can play in it. I feel like the comfort level is there too this week. It seems like he's playing differently with a different level of comfort.
This is obviously game 5 too, and missing the spring and going into the fall camp and having some interruptions. I mean, obviously this is a work in progress, but he's shown the ability to manage the game a little bit in terms of what he can do offensively. Obviously, it's much different compared to what most people are used to watching the last few years with Rolo and crew. But I mean, I think you're seeing his ability and what he can do with his legs in terms of keeping plays alive. But again, some other guys, I like to see Miles Reed get more involved in the run game.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been kind of non-existent since week 1. But getting some of the other guys involved offensively too. I mean, Jared Smart, like I said, Rico Bussey earlier, getting some of those other guys involved in terms of making plays and just getting different touches in guys' hands.
Well, Rico Bussey had a nice catch too, or he had a spin. I want to see if I can find that. We can go and I have some of the highlights up. I'll try and bring up here. But Rico Bussey, one of those guys you talked about. You get the ball in his hand and things can happen. It looks like we're getting some good yak for their receivers too, just making spin moves like that. Jonah had a great catch, Panoke, and that was off of like a play action. Really, and that's the comfort level when you see Shevin be able to make his reads, and especially having a guy like Jonah who he's thrown to for so long. I think it's kind of nice to see, because we as Hawaii football fans have been waiting for that for a long time, to see that connection come to fruition, and it's finally starting to happen, which is exciting. But when we look at where this team is right now, Shevin and his ability to stay in the pocket, the line is giving him time. He's finding guys on the outside. That's been a huge part for him. But when we look at some of the play calling as well, it looks like GJ Kinney is going back to airing it out, giving Shevin more time to make those reads. Do you see any kind of just logistics or some of the matchups that the offense is making available?
I think they're trying to take some advantages of even the receivers on the outside a little bit. Just utilize some of the speed that we have offensively, and they're not relying necessarily on number 7 to make a bunch of plays in the open field too. But I just think letting Chevy run the offense, balls in his hands, let him make decisions and see what he can do. And so far, so good the first half. We talked about he was 14 of 15 the first half. Hopefully the second half here, he can keep this offense going and get other guys involved. But there's been a lot of good things though. And like I said, the half was so fast, and there weren't a lot of possessions for either team. But more importantly, can the offensive line get Chevy time to throw? Can the defensive line keep staying active up front, put pressure on the quarterback? And can the secondary keep doing the job they've been doing in terms of shutting down some of those receivers and keeping the big tight end in check here in the second half? So a lot of game left, though. A lot of game.
Some people, Nolan saying our defense is attacking so much better, and I like our offensive catches. Yes, they're catching the ball. That's the thing. Our receivers had some butterfingers last week. That's a big difference. Luis says, hi, where can I see the game? If you're on the mainland, Luis, you can watch in the Team One Sports app. Team One Sports. It's all TTAM number 1 Sports app. You got to download that. But yeah, you can watch it that way. Lorenzo also, same questions. You can watch it that way, Team One Sports app, if you are on the mainland or you are on in Hawaii. You better be a pay-per-view, $70, or you can go and look on the internet. Somebody might be hooking it up somewhere. Nolan says, so far O-line is keeping Shevin safe. Yes, and making big plays. Yeah, if it wasn't for that time, our O-line is giving some time, and that is a tough Nevada D-line. Like, those guys are big, those guys are fast. This is a Nevada team that is incredibly confident too. They are not 5-0, and they think that they're not supposed to be there. They really believe they are the best team in the Mountain West. So to be able to play this way, especially our defense, very proud of them. Timmy is saying that as well. Ricardo saying 10-7. Yes, it's 10-7. Team One Sports app does work in California. I'm currently in California, so if it's not working on your phone, you maybe it's your connection or something, because you shouldn't have an issue right now. But when we go back and we look at some of the big plays of the day, and the first half, it seemed like that first quarter, as they're running the ball down, or they're running the time down, Nevada, they're eating up clock. It's like, man, these guys are just going to be able to keep possession the whole game. But they didn't even score in that first drive. So that was something that was kind of cool too, right? Our defense kind of got mowed down, and they were taking play after play, and Nevada was converting first downs. But to not give up any points was huge. Jimmy, what's your key to the second half? I guess what do you see as your major key for the second half?
Don't turn it over. Turnovers. Just keep drives alive, put points on the board, and keep that Nevada offense, like I said, out of sync here in the second half. Get the defense make a couple plays, and keep that offense on the side in the second half. I mean, obviously, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game at this point.
Yeah.
Where possessions are going to be huge for both teams. But can we make a couple big plays here? Can we put some more points on the board, and can we put them in a position where they haven't had to play from behind all year? I
like how Shevin is getting escapability. I'm there's a play in that last drive where he's getting pressure and he rolls to his right and he turns. He makes that turn and he finds. That's when he finds Jonah, or was it Rico got the first? Oh, Rico got the first down there, and he did a nice little spin move too. You can kind of see what they were focusing on at practice. I feel like because there's a lot of little things that I'm seeing a lot of these players do, and a lot of it comes down to, just having the reps and having Calvin line up in that little hitch or that play they ran at the end. I mean, that's Hawaii 101. That's what we're used to seeing in the red zone for Hawaii football. So. I think when it comes down to, are we going to be able to keep this up in the second half? It comes down to, I think, everything. Our coaches have to be on point. Our players have to be on point. It just seems like this Nevada team is not going to be able to be defeated just by, one of our units playing well. So our defense is playing lights out, obviously, but our offense put 10 points up on the board and at the same time matching what Nevada is doing. Nevada, one of the most potent offenses in the entire country, and one of those teams that is always going to be a thorn in the Hawaii side, especially last year. They talked about that too last year, right? The 54-3 game, and Norvell was like, I'm not watching that game. That's not even our team. But do you think that has something to the Nevada? You think that adds a little bit of fire to them?
Well, I think there's a little bit to it. Obviously, I mean, that was just that was a different team from a year ago too. I mean, different personnel this year and whatnot. I mean, different coaching staff. A lot of different factors that factor into that. But I think right now the big thing is we've played pretty much mistake-free football the first half, which hasn't been the case the first 4 or 5 games, and some of those discipline issues offensively and even defensively for the most part were non-existent the first half. So. Can this group come out and finish the second half? Can we make enough plays to hold on here? And we'll see it happens. I don't think anything with last year. I mean, that's at this point it's just kind of water under the bridge. But can this group finish the game here the second half and more importantly pick up a big win potentially for bowl game purposes more so than anything? Yes,
it would be a huge win. I mean, and this week it's so different now. Looking at our total yards, 179 yards of offense, which slightly less than what Nevada has, but 141 yards of passing. So 75% of our yards, 80% of our yards are coming in the air this game, which is so. Is GJ listening to the fans out there telling him to air it out, or is he, maybe he's just seeing that a lot of our players are just comfortable. They're comfortable in the offense where they're giving more flexibility, where Shevin has options where he has time and the line is giving him time. But when we look at these stats, any major numbers pop up at you? Nevada, their ground game, that's the irony too. One of the best pass games in the country, and their ground game is what is keeping them their yardage numbers up there. They got 75% of their yards, almost 75%, 60% of their yards have been coming off of the ground as well. So just a really strange game. Something that for Hawaii football fans we might not have expected. I mean, we look at the time of possession, Nevada basically 10 more minutes, and we kind of saw that. I mean, that was the first half basically. I mean, the first quarter, you saw them run down, and penalties wise, our team not doing too bad this game, keeping or at least having less penalties than Nevada. But yeah, what time is it? Let me know when the game starts. I'm just like chit chatting, and I got my screen.
It's 11:42 here where we're at right now. I know that. So it'll still be a late night. My son's trying to stay up here to watch it, but we'll see if he makes it on. It looks like I'm gonna pull this up here.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up myself as well now. So are we action? Okay, yeah, we're in the third quarter. Okay, we're in the third quarter now. I'm going to be back after the game. I'm going to have this Zoom link again up. So if anybody wants to jump in as well, send me a private message and you can chill with Jimmy and all the Nebraska fans. But if Jimmy makes it, we'll see him again. If not, thanks again, Jimmy, for joining us. Let's have a great 7th. All right, Jimmy, take care. Aloha.
Take care. Bye.